Check, check. Hello.
I really love all these collaborations you guys did. It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
So much fun. It's all
It's
about
like-
relationships with us.
Yeah, and like actually like honing in with the community of creators and like getting their input on the product and then badging that too. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Gerald was already like, "Can we do this a little more purple?" You know, like so he was
Yeah.
making notes and they're doing it. So
That's a good touch.
that's pretty awesome, man.
Those Mondo ties,
Yeah,
love him.
yeah. It's a great invention.
Love him. Love him. It's like, why have they not been around way before?
I don't know, but
I'm done with the zip ties.
I know. I agree.
You need a plier to cut them off.
yeah,
You can just like screw this into any hole on your cheese plate,
yeah.
and off you go.
It's fantastic. They'll last forever.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Condor Conversations. I'm here again with Shaki from Black Magic, aka Atomos. Everybody, not Black Magic.
From Atomos.
Golly, I'm so sorry. There's some similarities there. And it's a little early, and I haven't taken a sip of my coffee.
I think you
yet.
need to down a bit more of that coffee before we get into this.
Very sorry about that.
That's all right.
Obviously, competitor. Not what I was meaning to say. Atomos is what we're here to
Atomos.
talk about.
Yes.
Well, before we started rolling, we were discussing, what we wanted to talk about, and I think we have a really great topic to discuss today, and that is that, gear is really there to equip filmmakers to go make awesome stuff, and it's not always about buying the latest and greatest.
That's right.
And that led me to kind of think about the Ninja V. Like, how long has that been out, and it's still relevant today?
It's such a workhorse, that little device, 5-inch monitor recorder that we released about 5 years ago. And, it was originally a monitor recorder, but the design team did so amazing on that product because they not only just designed this product for the current needs, what they also did was they thought about the future of the product. How do we prolong the life of this product? So they have this thing called an expansion port, which lives on the back of the Ninja 5. And with that, you can basically attach so many other accessories that extends its functionality. So, this solo run and gun monitor recorder becomes a multicam switcher with the Ninja Cast, which is amazing for like multi-camera live streaming projects.
Yeah.
Then you've got the Connect module, so you can do, camera to cloud, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, time code, and an Ethernet connection. So, yeah, it's
It's like Legos for filmmakers.
literally, what I like to call it is the Swiss Army knife in production. It's so versatile.
Yeah.
You could use it to look at yourself. You can use it to monitor. You can use it to record. I think like one of my favorite features of the Ninja 5 are the tools it comes with. The false color, the LUTs, the aspect ratios.
The monitor is great. In fact, it's so great that you guys did make a variant called the Shinobi that is just a monitor, and it's a fantastic monitor. I don't know if you ever saw the video I did for you guys.
Of course. That was like the original
went
video.
to Hawaii and all that. It was a lot of fun.
That was a great trip. You went to Hawaii for that?
I went to Hawaii. Yeah, so I took the budget that you guys gave me, which was a very, I got paid well, but I spent all of it on a trip to Hawaii just for the heck of it.
Might as well. You might as well.
I was like, I could keep this money and film this in my studio, or I could buy a plane ticket to Hawaii and film the whole thing.
I'll tell you what.
in
I'll tell
Hawaii.
you what. That money was well used because you know why?
Why?
All the pictures were so vivid and like picturesque. We used it all across all our social media
Oh,
and our
that's
website
great.
design.
I also, Hasselblad was letting me borrow their new X1D.
Yeah,
And
wow.
so I brought that with me, and so all those images that I gave you
It
guys
was way
were-
too crisp.
Yeah, they were great. It was that medium format,
Yeah.
high megapixel. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys used them.
Now
That
we
was awesome.
we put those assets to real good use.
Oh, good.
Social media.
I'm excited about that.
Catalogs. You were everywhere.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Cool, that's good to hear. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
for
I
sure.
didn't know that.
So yeah, your
So
trip
any-
to Hawaii, well done.
Yeah, awesome. But obviously there are some limitations with the V as technology's moved on, which is why you guys address that with the newer variant of the V.
That's right.
It's giving us the ability to do 8K.
That's right.
Tell me about 8K. Is that the future of all this? I mean, what are your thoughts on
you know,
that?
it's, you know, when you look at it from a theoretical point of view, it is the next natural progression, right? When you do the math, it's like we went from SD to HD to 4K, and now everyone's shooting for, you know, back then
we keep doubling it.
We keep doubling it, right? When we were shooting 1080, we were like, oh, who needs to shoot 4K? Like, we're happy with 1080, right? But now 4K has become the norm. I think eventually, you know, 8K will become the norm as well. I think you just need to give it time. But, you know, at the end of the day, it all comes down to how you shoot. Do I need those extra resolutions? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe I'm on a set where I'm just like, you know, solo run and gun. All I have is one camera, so I might shoot it in wide, you know, in 8K, so I can, you know, in post get that second shot tight. Personally, me, I am a very nimble shooter. You know, I like to get things done on the go, and I like to move fast. So, you know, I think regardless of whether it's 8K, 4K, or even 1080p, just the way how I shoot, I like to get closer to the subject. That's just the way how I like to frame. I think, you know, there's only so much character you can bring in from scaling in post. It's great when I'm doing like something that's commercial, something that's you know, event related, something that's very critical, amazing. 8K, that flexibility, awesome. But for creative, fun stuff where you're doing music videos, artist profiles, micro documentaries, I think more than doing like an 8K push in, get closer to the subject. You know, so it's all very subjective. I think it's got its place for sure in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with virtual production and stuff, they need as much resolution as they can for the footage on the walls and all this and that. So I mean, sometimes they're even stacking multiple cameras to get like 32K or, you know, whatever for these virtual productions.
That's right.
Maybe with virtual reality, you know, maybe we'll continue to see that as well, because the more resolution you get, the higher quality on the goggles it looks, you know.
That's right.
Because as you're looking, you're only looking at a sliver of the image. So
that's right. And then you know, we've got the whole ProRes RAW acquisition where you can record that image, you know, in such a data-rich codec, so that when you go into post, you can really push those colors. You know, you can choose the sky, get that blue turn to like any color you want in the hue scale, and the colors will still hold, because that image is captured in ones and zeros.
Well, let's talk about RAW, because a lot of people may not know this, and maybe you won't even say this, but like Red does have a patent on recording RAW in camera.
That's right.
And that's been a bit of an issue here in the States, because a lot of cameras may have had the ability to do something like that, but because of that patent, they're not able to.
That's right.
Well, the workaround is the Ninja.
That's right. I think, like, you know, from like, because, you know, the way how we capture it is because we do the RAW outside of the camera.
Exactly.
So we have the novelty of being able to implement that without, you know, being in the way of the patent, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's kind of like that bridge from grabbing a camera and attaching to us, and then you being able to capture that RAW is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, do the math again, right? The budget of a high-end camera versus buying like a DSLR that supports RAW output and then putting it together with one of our kits.
Yeah, the Lumix S52 or S52X is like $2,500 for the X, which is going to do the RAW. So it's amazing how affordable we can get now, and it's full frame with stabilization. You can shoot anamorphic with stabilization. It's insane.
And then, you know, like, you get all the other extras as well.
Yes.
Camera to cloud,
yeah,
your monitoring tools, your LUTs, your cost conversions.
And if you're watching this right now and you didn't know, we had a great conversation with Photo Joseph yesterday about camera to cloud. But I just sitting here and kind of moderating the two of you talking about it, I'm just so impressed with this technology. It's very exciting.
I think, you know, one thing that we really like to do with our products is give the user flexibility of whatever way they want to, you know, how they want to use this product.
Yeah.
Whether it be on set, whether it be in post, whether it be in camera to cloud. It's just super versatile, you know. all the different flavors of codecs you get to choose in. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
look, I just want to shoot H.265. Go for it.
Yeah.
I'm an avid user. shoot it in DNX.
Yeah.
ProRes RAW. So I think that's kind of like a thing that we really want to like keep focusing on and becoming better at it, and
Yeah.
Giving customers that option of having different pathways that they can take up on
Yeah.
to improve, or something that they're interested in as a filmmaker, and
Yeah.
really start branching out.
Yeah.
Starting as a solo shooter who did weddings back in the day, can now start shooting high-end commercials.
Yeah.
Or they can go into live gaming with
Yeah.
multi-cameras. Or they can be like a post-production suite color grading with,
Yeah.
with one of our monitors.
Sure. I just had an idea for a product. An EVF with an SD card or like a CFast card slot, so like imagine a Ninja EVF.
You know what?
Wouldn't that be cool?
You're not the first person to say that.
I feel like technology has gotten to a point where we can probably scale down the size. I understand that there's a lot of cooling, but and maybe there'd be limitations on the types of codecs that would be possible.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just want to be stripped down and have an EVF. And,
That's right. It's like you're kind of like reminding me of one of our early generation products called the Ninja Star.
Yes, I kind of miss that product.
Right, it was a fun little
It was
device.
a little piece of glue that you could just stick to different cameras and just set it and forget it.
Man, like that was like the go-to combination with the C100.
I know. Yeah, I remember.
A ProRes 422 10-bit all
Yeah.
into a CFX, CFast card. It was
Yeah.
it was awesome.
Yeah. Why'd you guys kill the product line? Do you have an answer?
To be honest, people just wanted more.
Okay. Yeah.
that everyone was just like, hey, look, this is great. We just want more options. We want a screen.
Yeah.
We want all these input and output
Sure.
options, because that was just like an HDMI in,
Yeah.
a battery, and a memory card.
Yeah.
But we can always bring these things up with for
Yeah.
discussion with the product
Yeah.
team and be like, hey, look, some people just want just a simple recorder.
Yeah. Exactly.
People were actually sticking that with the old school DJI. What was the Phantoms?
Yes. Yeah, I remember
To the
those.
original big Phantoms, they would stick it up.
The Ninja Star.
Yeah, the Ninja Star, and then send it off.
Oh wow.
And then get like data-rich video
Oh, cool.
recordings.
I didn't even know about that. That's cool.
Yeah. Like,
So let's talk about more monitors. I mean, we're looking at one right here. This is the Sumo.
yeah, that's a Sumo 19 SC. Like freshly had a nice little revamp.
Tell me about that.
It's the screen.
Yeah.
It's purely the screen. As you can see, it's brighter. It looks brighter, actually. Actually, it's not brighter. It's just that the picture quality of it is improved so much more. It's
Yeah.
a sharper screen, so it gives you that virtually.
Mike,
Sorry.
closer.
Virtually it gives you this look that it's brighter, but
Interesting.
actually the image quality has improved. The edges are sharper. Your whites are brighter. But yeah, it's the same Sumo 19 we had back in the day that people absolutely loved.
Yeah.
But
Records.
we
as well.
we kind of like we actually discontinued production of it. But then people came up to us and they said, hey, look, we love the Sumo 19. I think you guys should keep making it. And we
Yeah.
listened to that input from our customers and from
Sure.
the channel, and we're like, hey, let's just bring that back in. Let's bring it back in and
Absolutely.
make it better.
Yeah. And then we've got the Shinobi, like we mentioned, which is the monitor.
Yeah. So
we've
what
got
you
the
did was
Ninja.
the 5-inch monitor, the Shinobi 5,
Yeah.
which is like the super light monitor.
Yep.
It sat on top of your camera. If you were happy with the recordings on the inside of your camera, then go with that. You might not need the recording functions.
My favorite feature was the battery was centered.
That's right. That's right. So actually, talking about that, interesting. With the Ninja 5, the design of it was to have the battery on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And with the new Connect module, we were like, putting this Connect module was amazing. And then the original modules, if you remember, the SDI module
Yes.
and the Sync module.
They're like little battery things.
Yeah, they were like, these extensions that were, sitting on the back of our monitors. And then, it attached a battery onto that, and it just became right heavy.
Yes.
Right. So product design team took that into consideration, and
Yeah.
they adjusted the central gravity of where the product would be.
Oh, smart.
So what they did was they introduced this Connect module, and then they shifted the battery slot from the right-hand side to the center.
Oh, wow.
So if you get the new Connect module,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Dude,
Your battery is
yeah.
now back in the center.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal, but like when I was just using a stripped down camera and it was just on the middle of my hot shoe,
Yeah.
you know, it was kind of leaning this way a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And especially if you were doing like an easy rig sort of situation as well.
Yes.
You know,
You'd have
it
to use a
would tilt
magic
bit.
arm to off balance it.
That's
really.
right. That's
So,
right. That's right.
Because I wanted a big, thick battery because I didn't want to change it all day. You know. So-
Or you could always use like a D-tap.
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You know, completely strip it
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I don't have any V-locks. That's a good point. Yeah.
V-locks, I'm telling you, D-taps, V-locks,
Yeah.
it's just the way to go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
You know,
makes
batteries are great. You know, if you're shooting like a wedding,
Mhm.
you know, you have the flexibility of moving around. But if you're on set, like shooting a micro documentary,
sense. Sure.
you know, you're focusing on the story. You don't
Yeah.
want to be changing batteries.
Yeah.
D-tap that.
100%. Deep tap that mess. I love it. Any other monitors that we could talk about? We got the Samurai, right? Is that
Whoa, we're going way back.
what? That's gone.
That's way, yeah, like that's
Sorry.
a couple of generations back. But
What was
again,
what was that? Was that that
we
was
had the Samurai, we had the Blade,
7-inch.
we had the Ronin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there were older generations.
So what's the current lineup? We've got the,
current
Sumo,
lineup, we've got the Sumo
Shinobi,
19.
Ninja.
Yep, we've got the Sumo 19, which is, you know, quad ISO SDI connection camera. I mean, a monitor.
Yeah.
Great for like video villages,
Yep.
directors, you know, producers or clients to have a look at this image on a larger screen. Then you've got the Neon, which comes in two sizes, the 17 and the 24. It's more of a color precision screen, which perfect for DITs. You know,
Yep.
they've designed like a custom look lot, and they want to preview what that looks like.
Would that be? Are there editors using that in a coloring suite as well? or-
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. You know, it's a color accurate, bright monitor.
Nice.
You know, because it was meant to be used both on set and in post as well. What we did was we removed the touch screen and we turned it into a remote controllable device.
Oh,
so you
nice.
didn't have all those annoying
Yeah.
fingerprints on your screen.
Oh yeah, that'd be awful.
You know, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Totally.
So yeah, that was the Neon. So that's our large screen range. Then we've got the Ninja 5, the 5 Plus.
Uh-huh.
The difference between the both of them is the 5 Plus does 8K 30, as you said,
Yes.
and then it does 4K 120p.
Yep.
Then you've got the Shinobi 5 and the 7,
Okay.
which is the bigger brother to
Yes.
what you used back.
Yeah,
back
I
then.
haven't even
Oh,
seen that one.
It's such a great monitor because
Cool,
it's like
check it
super light. They've removed the recording aspect of it.
Yeah,
So you could just like chuck in one NPF battery and just run all day on
that's
it.
great.
And then
Does it have SDI options on that?
Yes. You've got the SDI options on that, and then what else we got? And then we've got the Connect range,
Yeah.
which is the Atomos Connect module on the
Yep.
back of the Ninja, the Shogun Connect, which is the Shogun 7, but with wireless time code and Bluetooth and NDI and Ethernet all attached into one
Oh
device.
my goodness.
So it's just like one compact device. It's our flagship device. You could do raw over HDMI and you could do raw over SDI. Because
Wow.
back then it was like the Ninja was your raw over HDMI unit, and then the Shogun 7 was your raw over SDI unit.
Yes.
Shogun Connect kind of like put all of that together
it
and
all
made
in
it
one.
device.
Wow.
And you didn't have to attach any modules or any of that because it's all in one.
Yeah, I think that's the name that I was trying to come up with.
Shogun.
Shogun.
But it's nice to know that you still remember our older
Oh,
products.
of course, and the girls.
We don't talk about those things these
Yeah.
days.
What are you talking about?
we've as you can see, like, you know, we've you know, if you look at our brand as well, you know, we've evolved so much
Absolutely.
from
No,
back to where we were.
Of course.
You know, we've
For many
gone-
reasons.
You know, we used to be, you know, big, massive, you know, black presence. It was like, you
Yeah.
know, everything was blacked out. But
Yeah.
if you go into our booth right now, it's all white. It's super light. You know,
Yeah.
we've got colors.
I love that.
We're trying to bring more life to
Yeah.
to our, you know, our human presence.
I love that.
Yeah, no,
That's great.
it's been a great branding exercise for
Yeah.
us. You know, going from just camera and gear porn to
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it has been like that for a
Yeah.
long time, and I think many people in the industry do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like gear. Okay, but like, can we see what this looks like in a real world?
Yeah.
You know, with like actual cool creators using it.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so many creators you can bring on board that, you know, just keep using the product for the same application and repeating that same thing all the time. Like, I don't want to be looking at that. I'd
Yeah.
get bored of that.
Yeah.
And if I'm getting bored of that, then what about my audience?
Yeah. Start
So-
making films.
Making films, man.
It's all about story. It's all about that, and you guys are enabling that.
That's right. And like, you know, I think the main, you know, driving force behind all of that for me has been, you know, outside of Atomos, I'm a cinematographer, so I shoot projects. And now I always think about like, what would I like to see? And
Yeah.
then put on my user's cap as well, and
Yeah.
like hear about like, you know, what's something fun we can bring to the table. You know,
Yeah.
we've been collaborating with other brands.
Yeah.
No, well, as a matter of fact, Condo Blue with you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
you know,
of
we're
course.
doing this awesome collaboration. I think, you know, in the future would love to like team up with, you know, the content creators you guys have been working with. You know, we've
course.
worked with Armando, Gerald
Yeah.
Dunn, Sydney. So, you know,
Yeah.
we're in that same circle.
Totally.
And, you know, we just want to tell more stories about, you know, hear their stories and
Yeah.
share their workflows, their tips. You know, we've been working with brands like, you know, Atlas.
Yes.
We've been working
I'm
with
wearing that.
Nanlite, you know. So lots of exciting news coming for
That's
the
awesome.
collaboration stories.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, let's just end it on this. As a cinematographer and as a filmmaker yourself, what's kind of your word of advice to up and coming, you know, creators, people who want to do filmmaking for a living?
For sure. I think like, you know, the industry has been so saturated by gear from all these new brands and existing brands, and you know, we always bring all these new products. You know, I think my advice to, you know, shooters out there is that you might not necessarily need the latest and the greatest product to become a better filmmaker. I think they definitely help. They definitely help. I think my advice is to be resourceful, you know, work smart and then work hard. There's no shortcuts. Tools help you work smart. And like, you know, have fun. Experiment. Try out new things. This camera might not be for you. Go try out another camera. Try out a different cinema rig. You know, spend time on pre-production, then looking up YouTube videos on what gear I should be buying. You know, I think that's important to be informed of what's out there. But, you know, I think, you know, you just got to listen to your gut and you know, you got to put in your hard work to become a better filmmaker. For me personally, like, for a very long time, you know, I used to just gather what was around and go out there and shoot. You didn't have money to buy an external monitor. I'd be looking at this little screen and be like, look, I'm getting my shots, I'm happy. And I come back home and then I look at my footage, I'm like, oh, that's out of focus. I didn't get my exposure right. And then after joining Atomos, I had the, you know, the luxury of having a monitor on my camera. And that just changed the way how I moved around. You know, instead of me doing guesswork, I'm like, okay, false color on. What does that look like? Cool. You know, sometimes, you know, there are shots, you know, where, for example, you're shooting shots using a snorri cam rig. You can't have a monitor on top of that. But I'd plug it in, check my exposure. I'm like, okay, cool, off you go. Let's just shoot.
A what rig?
A snorri cam?
What's that? Oh, like a chest
Cam,
Yeah.
or chest cam, or a helmet cam, or
Yeah, so
something?
the snorri cam was, have you watched the movie A Requiem for a Dream?
No.
Oh, it's just like this incredible body rig. It's, I mean, I guess it's called a chest cam, but the original name was snorri cam. So you attach a camera onto your chest, and you could be moving all around. So you got to keep this rig really tight. So you don't want to be attaching things onto it. You don't want a monitor in there. You don't want a V-lock in there. It's just a camera and a battery. So, you know, in instances like that, it's like, don't worry about the monitor. Let's just get this shot. And no, it's you know, it has its place, is what I'm trying to get at.
And what's great is all the way from the bottom of the line to the top, you know, the Shinobi, the HDMI version is affordable, and it's a good place to start if you're getting started.
For sure.
And like you said, I mean, you know, to be fair, these monitors have been on the market for a while. Maybe pick one up secondhand. You
Yeah,
know? You
yeah.
could probably find a Ninja now for a good price.
Like you know, I am. I definitely come from a manufacturing, company, so I should be advocating for buying brand new, right? But at the end of the day, if you go like, hey, look, I want to get a secondhand one, go for it. We might not be able to support as much, because obviously it's out of warranty and whatnot.
Sure.
But still, it gives you a great
attests
chance
to the build quality.
Yeah. Or you could just come to a trade show
Yeah.
and have a play with it and be
Yeah.
like, make a decision from there.
Totally.
I think, shortcuts have a place.
Yeah.
And buying something cheap,
Sure.
but it comes with baggage.
Yeah. Totally. You never know where it's been.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Shaki, thank you for coming again to the Condor Conversation booth from Atomos. Everybody, check out atomos.com. I assume that's the website.
That's it. Atomos.com.
And be on the lookout for just all this amazing camera to cloud stuff. I'm real excited about Atomos Edit. Again, if you look at our other conversation with Photo Joseph, you can learn all about that. So thank you again for coming on, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Awesome. Thanks, man.
Sorry about that.